Hello everyone, this is another art video and we'll jump right in. This week I was asked to make an emote and something that can be blown up into an image for merchandise by one of my friends of the community and someone who recently has also become one of my moderators in my Twitch space. She found me by simply searching Fox on Twitch and was looking for other Fox related streamers, and so clearly we both share a love of foxes. Now, she also very much enjoys Hogwarts, which I do as well, but she takes it to a level that, you know, is become very quickly her theme in her channel, and she has all sorts of things like how to sort into your own house, and recently partnered with one of my other moderators, Rune Mason, to come up with a new bot system that anybody can use to assign a house, and they're working together on how they can make like house points and things of that nature with it, which I thought was very neat. Now, in about this moment in the art time lapse, you'll see a very sudden shift, as Angie had told me while I was making this that she wasn't really looking for the chibi style she had given me a reference for. I also found it really funny that she had, you know, kind of generated something with AI, which I'm not against the idea of creating an AI image to use as a reference for art. I don't think it should be the final product, but that's for another time and another video. But I think it's great to get good shapes and kind of an aesthetic for what you would like some of the vision to look like. But I was laughing because with AI, it doesn't necessarily like text, and so it had said Slytherin or something of that nature, and so I was laughing as we had to change some of that. And anyway, but it was about at this point that she said, no, I'm not really wanting the chibi. I had been asking, do you like the fluff? And she said no. And when I asked a little bit more, she was looking for more something along the lines of her profile, which you can see up there in the upper right, rather than what she had kind of given me some reference for in the left. So this is the point in the stream that we changed gears to try and make it something a little more realistic and give her a bit more of a cool, or, you know, whatever image that she wanted here. So just working out different design. She very much wanted to keep her mohawk, but I'm happy to have gotten the reference for her profile picture, because I do think that having the longer image, or the longer hair there, really helped to tie this all together. So all of this is done with a sketch. Anything here in blue is just getting rough ideas and shapes, and I wanted to give the idea that the paws were being crossed. But I also noticed somewhere, I think it's somewhere around here, that I realized that it doesn't really seem like she's in the cup. And so a little bit later on, I think I raise where the cup level is, so it looks a lot more like she is either leaning across the cup, or at least is somewhat in the cup, rather than just where it's at. So lots of different modifications and changes, and that's something that's very different about making a request for somebody live, because they can give you feedback that drastically alters or changes the direction that your art is going, like it did by saying she didn't want the chibi effect. She wanted something a little bit more realistic, or at least less cutesy and chibi, and a little bit more along the lines of what she had for her picture here. So definitely trying to give that picture as much nod and justice, pulling some of the colors from it. And I think it's yeah, about here where I realized this cup doesn't really go up as far as I wanted to, but all the same, it's definitely a fun and interesting experience to make art live with people, and something that has its pros and cons, because on one hand I was very comfortable in thinking, oh okay, I will make this chibi emote quickly and maybe I'll be able to even get a second one done during this stream, and this ended up taking me so much longer because we changed the entirety of the direction we were going. And I'm not complaining by any means, but it's definitely something that you have to consider if you want to do art live, especially if the person that it's intended for is watching. And it's not the first time, I know, doing the Choya art image also had a lot of that, where we weren't exactly pleased with where the direction was going, and they gave me real-time feedback that made me have to pivot and change. But at the same time, by having that sort of real-time feedback, you do have to learn to adapt and to, you know, change. And it's also a test of patience, because sometimes as an artist you are envisioning something specific and you're happy with where things are going, and then someone may give you some feedback that completely alters that, and so you have to be patient with yourself, patient with your skills, and it's very much a trust the process. So I have very much enjoyed doing art live, whether it's for someone or not for someone. So very tickled with how the overall hair turned out in here. I used a chalk, I think it was chalk, or maybe charcoal, filter brush, and I even came back and I had discovered, as I do the logo here in a little bit, that you can download different brushes, and it's not something I do very often, and I actually tried downloading a hair brush and ended up not liking it at all. So now I put the logo here behind the cup to kind of give me a little bit more shape. I still am again not trying to directly reference or copy this, and you'll see as I go through making this, I put this off for last because I really wasn't comfortable in trying to recreate something that's already so well polished and well done. But when you get something as a request for something that's already made, already copyrighted, you should try to remake it as your own as much as possible to just avoid that direct. Here's where I was able to get a brush for the scales and play around with some of the coloring and placement until I was able to get something I enjoyed. But you'll notice here at the top, I was trying to leave that, I don't even know what it's called, but the top of the crest there. And you'll find at the very end that I end up redrawing and recoloring that, because I, at this point, was definitely starting to be a little done. We're playing around with the cup a little bit, but I was starting to feel that artist fatigue of, okay, I would love to take a break, but because we're trying to make a video, I just need to get this done. I need to power through. And so as art redemptions and other things are happening in the stream, you know, do a workout, stand up and stretch, do a dance, I'm like, I just want to finish. But we do end up finishing. We end up embellishing quite a bit. Pretty pleased with, again, pulling in some of those different brushes to make different effects. You can see this, I think, is a fire or a smoke effect. We're trying to get kind of a marbly type look with the green and the gold, and trying to make sure it all looks okay. And you know, we were playing with some shadows, and this is at the point where it's okay, we're trying to clean up the actual image, and so okay, we will just redraw the whatever that is called. I don't actually know. Again, I enjoy a good chunk of doing art and doing things, but I don't, and Harry Potter, but I don't always know exactly what the different parts of the houses and things are called. So we're getting some texture, we're getting some things, and this overall was a very lengthy stream. And again, by this point, I'm very done. I just want to be going to bed. It was probably close to 3 a.m. at this point, and Angie was so sweet to stay up and to continue to give the feedback and to just really make this a polished product or thing here at the end. And I'm really glad that she did, because ultimately that's what I want to do with an art request like this, is to make the person who wanted this to be as happy as possible. And we were trying to find a way to kind of frame. I was trying all sorts of different effects, and ultimately we find that just a brush and a certain thickness ends up being what we go with, and not these chains or smoke or things. And I think that ended up making it pop and stand out a little bit more. So very happy overall with how everything turned out. I think oh, I forgot about this part. So Angie had mentioned, hey, I feel like something's missing here in the face. And I didn't quite understand what she meant. I thought we were done. And so I was trying to talk through, and she said, no, I don't like the muzzle. I don't like the way that it turned out. And I was like, well, you know, in a front view, it probably wouldn't. Would you want these erased? And so we ended up good with this, which I think ultimately she's pleased with and very happy. So thank you all so much for watching and enjoying this journey. If you liked this video, feel free to like. You can find me on all my other socials, and you can find me doing this live on Twitch generally on Fridays. Thank you all so much for watching, and you have a good day.